you have a lot more power and control in your life than we want to admit. And it's so easy to use what's happening in the world as an excuse to avoid our discipline. So I want to read through these because this particular review I think is really potent, and it's all the information is right here in this. I do want to stipulate that when we read out of the workbook, it does not suffice. It doesn't take the place of actually doing the workbook, doing the lessons. I'm taking a section out to read the information, to do some work together. It's not the same as you doing the lessons. The lessons are designed to be done one a day, every day for 365 days. It's a very personal, you could say even private practice between you and the Holy Spirit, right? It's a way of really deepening and transforming, deepening your connection to Holy Spirit and transforming your mind. It's designed to take you through a series of thoughts and ideas that first undo the craziness that we've done to ourselves, sort of a brainwashing. And every now and then you can use a good brainwashing, right? A good mind washing, clearing the debris, the stuff, and then allowing space. And then it starts to bring new ideas in. And it, that happens over a period of time in a certain order. I'm selecting out of that some information so that we get to talk about it, and it deepens our practice together as a community. But it does not take the place of you doing the workbook or the lessons, just so you know. Some people, don't like when we do this, and that's okay. I think I've been given guidance. I think it's fine to do. There's no information in the workbook that isn't in the text. It's just pieced together in a way to help you get it, right, over a period of time, a year. But I'm going to select this out right now, and we're going to read through it. I'm going to read each review because I think there's some cool concepts and ideas in here that I think are good to hear. We will observe a special format for these practice periods that you are urged to follow just as closely as you can. We understand, of course, and this is one of the things I wanted to get out there, and I like that it says we, right? We understand, of course, that it may be impossible for you to undertake what is suggested here as optimal each day and every hour of the day. So I like this because this is the attitude that they take to the course for all of the lessons, the whole workbook, right? It's acknowledging our reality at this level, which I think is important to get, right? Learning will not be hampered when you miss a practice period because it is impossible at the appointed time. Okay, this is, of course, telling you that ultimately nothing's impossible for you. But at this level, living life the way we live it, you may have children, you may have family, you may have a job, whatever, something may happen to your car, things that you have to do at this level. It acknowledges that, right? And it's saying, just because that happens and you can't do the lesson in the course at that moment or that day, that time, it says, learning will not be hampered when you miss a practice period because it is impossible at the appointed time, nor is it necessary that you make excessive efforts to be sure that you catch up in terms of numbers. Also important to get. So I always tell people, people feel guilty. Well, I started and I did 20 lessons and I haven't done it for 6 months or whatever. It's fine. It's you don't have to go back and redo them. Just start where you left off, right? Or if you have a day where you did a little bit of what it was asking you to do throughout the day, but you didn't do the whole, it's fine. You're doing the best you can in the moment. Go on to your next lesson. Keep going. It understands, and the lessons are sort of built around that very human experience, right? So, nor is it necessary that you make excessive efforts to be sure that you catch up in terms of numbers. Rituals are not our aim. The course is not about ritual. It's not a religion, right? rituals are not our aim and would defeat our goal. That would defeat the goal. But learning will be hampered when you skip a practice period because you're unwilling to devote the time to it you are asked to give. This is where it gets tricky, because there are lots of things we have excuses, and those excuses aren't ultimately real. We're just unwilling to devote the time to it. That will hamper your learning, it says. Right? Your house is on fire, you got to run out. Well, that's happening, right? That won't hamper your learning. But you smell some smoke and you feel like you just got to get out of the house as an excuse because you really don't want to devote the time. That will hamper you, right? So this does require some discipline. But learning will be hampered when you skip a practice period because you are unwilling to devote the time to it that you are asked to give. Do not deceive yourself in this. Unwillingness can be most carefully concealed behind a cloak of situations you cannot control. And this is the work, this is the concept behind some of the work that I do with my clients, and I definitely do in the power cluster, is, ultimately, there are no accidents. You have a lot more power and control in your life than we want to admit. And it's so easy to use what's happening in the world as an excuse to avoid our discipline, no matter what it is, whether it's spiritual discipline or anything else. So it's telling you to beware, be conscious. There are times at this level, it's rare, when shit's happening, you have no control and you got to deal and it's in your way, and that's fine. The reason it hampers you is because when you're doing it, because you're resisting the transformation, we're resisting the information. There's a difference.